Hey, everybody. I want to thank you for checking out today's broadcast. My name is Jonathan. Today is day 261 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a very busy weekend. I'll probably end up talking a lot about the sprint triathlon I did this weekend. I have a lot to talk about, I suppose. It was a good weekend for me. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear them. Have any questions or anything they want to go over, let me know. And I'd be happy to see what we can do. So a little bit about me. If this is your first time checking out one of my streams, I'm 39 years old. I'm married. We have 4 children. Last year, or really my whole life, I've been overweight, but last year it got to a point where it was just out of control. At the end of the year there, I was over 500 pounds, and I knew I needed to start something or to do something to lose some weight. Carrie's checking in. Hello, Carrie. I hope everything's going well at home today. So yeah, last year I knew I needed to do something, and I've lost weight so many times, and I've done all of the gimmicks, and I've taken pills, and and I've had success. I've lost weight. I'm still not the lowest I've been as an adult at this point, and so I've had success with losing weight, but I've never been able to maintain the weight loss. I've never really been able to keep the weight off. And so that was one of the big goals I had in mind, was that I wanted to stick with something for longer than I've ever stuck with it, or to dedicate my focus to being healthier for longer than I've ever done it. And so that's why I chose to do this for 3 years. The other part of the challenge was that I knew that I needed to get down to a healthy weight. A lot of times I would hit a goal weight and I'd be happy and I'd be getting accolades from everybody around me. Oh, you're doing great. You've done great. That's awesome. But even when I get to my lowest weight that I can think of as an adult is 285 pounds. That still puts me at very overweight. I felt great at the time. I felt like I had accomplished something, and I'll feel like I accomplished something when I get there again. But I was never able to sustain that weight loss. I kind of hit that goal and then was like, all right, well, I can go back because I'll be able to lose the weight again later. And so, like I said, those are my 2 big goals: is to do this for 3 years, to lose the 300 pounds. I went into the challenge. The only thing I knew I was going to do was that I was going to water fast. My goal was to water fast for 30 days. I've done long water fasts in the past. I was confident that I could do that. And I ended up actually pushing that water fast to 42 days. And then at the end of the 42 days, I switched to a diet that I would not have known. I did not know that I was going to eat this way when I started this challenge. But in December, I started to eat a whole food plant-based diet with no added salt, oil, or sugar. It has completely changed my relationship with food, my beliefs about food, and just my overall understanding of how I feel that we are supposed to eat. So that's kind of it for the intro there. If you haven't already, though, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, turn on notifications, comment, like this video. I need interactions so that more people will find out I exist, I suppose. If you didn't already notice, and actually I'm actually realizing that I have this image on top of my chat box, so you can't see that she said, hello, Mr. Fa. So, but if you didn't notice already, I updated the photo to the left there. That is a photo that was taken of me shortly after I completed the sprint triathlon this weekend. If you follow me on Instagram or on the Discord, I posted update photos on there showing that I ran the race. Let's see. So I was last on here on last Thursday. I didn't stream Friday because I was in a vehicle sitting on my butt all day Friday. I went 6 hours out to pick up some freight, and then I came back 6 hours sitting on my butt the whole time. The day before, I had to go do the sprint triathlon, but it was either do it the day before or do it right after, and I didn't think that it would be a good idea to sit in a vehicle without moving for a long time after doing the triathlon. So Friday, I ended up driving all day. It's weird traveling by myself. The big advantage was that I did end up starting to listen to Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Diet. The audio book version of How Not to Diet is 23 hours and some change. So it's not quite a full day of audio book, but I did listen to a good chunk of it since last Friday. The book itself has got an amazing amount of information. It said there how far I was into it, I thought. So I have 13 hours left, so I'm about 10 hours into the book, I guess. But there's an amazing amount of information in the book. He cites all kinds of studies and all kinds of research and kind of comes to lots of conclusions based on those things. It is not a book I think I could sit and physically read. I'm happy that I'm listening to it on audiobook. And even at that, on the audiobook version of it, I'm also not, what's the word? The audiobook version of it, I'm not like listening to it intent, like with some books, like the Finding Ultra book that I just listened to. If I had missed a few seconds of the book, I would hit the rewind button so that I would kind of catch what I missed. Or if I found my mind wandering, I would back the book up so that I could kind of catch the spots that or what was happening while my mind was wandering. With this book, I'm kind of letting my mind wander. If I were to hit the back button every time I wasn't exactly sure I understood what he said or wanted to kind of catch that, I would be listening to this book for 40 hours. I still back up a little bit when he kind of, when I realize he's talking about something that I do want to listen to, then I do back it up a little bit or if I'm listening and I feel like I'm totally lost, I'll back it up to try to pick up what he's talking about. But there's so much about what he says that just seems to make sense. The part of the book that I'm listening to right now is really focused on the gut bacteria and the flora in your gut. And so that would be, that was something that I haven't really, Carrie's talked about it a decent bit with some of the podcasts that she's been listening to. I haven't really taken the time to dive into understanding it much. And this book goes in depth with it quite a bit. There's a lot more to the bugs in your gut than we were ever taught growing up. I guess that would be the biggest thing is it's funny the things we were taught and the things we weren't taught, and so it's just weird. So yeah, Friday driving around, listening to the audiobook, happy to be able to listen to that, have that going on while I was driving. And then Saturday was the big day for me. I did it's called the DeWitt Crossroads Sprint Triathlon. Excuse me. It was crazy that I even signed up for this. I don't know what I was thinking there was all kinds of things that kind of ended up getting me to sign up for it. But you know, in the end, the biggest push was probably that my brother said that he would do it with me. And so he ended up doing a little bit better than me overall. But I am going to try to pull up let me pull up my results. I think that's going to be this one. Let me just go like this. Okay. So this is my results from the race. I finished in 2 hours, 21 minutes. My goal was to finish in under 2.5 hours. So I'm just going to keep it like that. So I was happy to get done in under 2.5 hours. Just kind of overall how it, from the start of the day, I guess I probably maybe not showing the results already, but Anthony's saying awesome. Yeah. So from the start of the day, I get up early, pretty nervous that night, but I got up early, got my stuff together, got out the door. Probably 10 minutes down the road, I felt like I had forgotten my pants. And so I called back home and was like, hey, I don't want to pull over and check my bag, but I think I forgot my pants, or the triathlon shorts that I was going to wear. Can you check? Carrie was like, well, your shirt is here with your number tag on the back, as well as your towels and some other things. So I had remembered the shorts, but I forgot a pile of other things. So I went back home, grabbed that stuff, and headed back out. I was still plenty early. It wasn't like I was worried about being late at that point, even with having to backtrack and get that stuff. I was going to get there pretty much right when the registration opened or shortly after anyways. So it was fine to go back and get that gear. When I got there, you kind of set your stuff up in the, they call them transition spots. We had 2 different transition spots, one where you go from swimming to biking, and then one where you go from biking to running. We set our stuff over at the running transition, and then we went to the swim bike transition, kind of where everything got going. Everybody was extremely friendly there. A lot of people were focused on just getting their stuff together. While I was getting my stuff together, it was interesting because out of nowhere, a kid that I went to a high school with and college with was there. He was running in the race. He has done triathlons in the past. I'd seen him like on social media posting. Apparently it was 7 years ago was the last time he had done anything, but I knew he did things like this, and he likes to run is what I think is the big part of it that he liked. But he lives in the town that was having the event, so he signed up for the event. So it was really cool to see him. I would be willing to bet that if you had him write down a list of people he never thought he would ever see, that he ever knew, I would be on that list of somebody he would never see there, just because it's not something that, when high school, I was the big heavyweight wrestler, offensive lineman, not the guy that was going to be trying to do a swim, bike, run event. So, but it was great to see him there. He was very encouraging. The other part of it is that, like, somebody is the extreme of something there. So, like, I was probably the heaviest person there overall, weight wise. I was the heaviest there, but I wasn't anywhere near the oldest person there. I mean, there was 2 people that competed in the 70 and plus division for men, and at least maybe there's just 1 lady that was in the 70 plus division. So, like, there were 70-year-old men doing that. So even though I'm over 300 pounds, I couldn't imagine doing this at 70 years old, even if I was a healthy weight. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there was an 11-year-old kid that did the adult triathlon, and he did great. And like I said, there's just all kinds of, there's tall people, short people, skinny people, fat people. There's like a whole song or something. I can't think of what it is, but, but so it's just such a mix of people out there at the race. So you don't really feel, I didn't feel so weird, and really being the biggest guy there, and being at the end of the pack, both on the bike ride and the run, they would come back the same way that we came out. So people that were on the back end of their bike ride or the back end of their run would be passing by me. 70% of people said something encouraging. Keep it up. You got this. You're going to do it, way to go. And really, and even like the Oscar Mayer hot dogs. There you go. That's the song. Demolition Man is where I'm remembering that from. That's really funny. That's and even there was a guy that was in a wheelchair, that he had a modified bike that he was pedaling with his hands, and when he went in, like they took him to the dock, or he got himself to the dock, and then he pushed himself from his chair into the water. The entire crowd of people waiting, there wasn't really a crowd at the swim of like spectators, but all of the participants were waiting in line. Everybody cheered for him going into the water, and it was a really cool moment to see that, and for the camaraderie of it all. So but yeah, so we lined up. They had people line up based on how fast they thought they would swim. So me and my brother definitely hung towards the back. There was a few other people back there with us. Like I said, the couple of the older guys in their 60s or 70s, I think, were back there with us. There was a lady that, and the only reason I know everybody's age is because they write it on the back of your leg. At this triathlon, you had your number written on your shoulder and then your age written on your leg, so people would know your age group, I guess. But there was a lady that was 66 that was next to us. We were all in good spirits, excited to kind of try this out. I don't know how many of them it was their first, but for me and my brother, it was our first. Justin ended up getting into the water before me, and I will try to pull up this window capture here. So I don't know how well you guys can read that on your screens, but this is the overall times. This Matt Jackson, who won it overall, did it in 1 hour, 1 minute, 59 seconds. So well under half of the time I did it. So I'm just going to go way down here to the bottom. So this is me down here. I was number 84. My brother actually finished, I think there was 138. Yeah, there's 138 positions. He finished about 5 ahead of me, but, I don't have this whole thing on the screen. That's funny. Okay. Now that you can see it, I'll talk about it here. So I was number 84. This is my overall times for everything. The 2 hours, 21 minutes was a really good time for me. Like I said, my goal was to get under 2.5 hours. The swimming portion of it, I wasn't the slowest in every section. So if I can get this to resort based on the that. So with the swimming, I came in like 5th from last. I did the swimming in 18 minutes, 28 seconds. My brother was slightly behind me, about a minute behind me, I guess. And then there was another guy. And then these other ones must have started before us and just swam slower than we did, because I don't know that we saw them throughout the whole race. So I felt like I swam pretty good. I did not do a lot of swim training leading up to the event. We have a small pool in our yard that I did some training in that, but my overall swim training was probably less than like an hour of dedicated, like trying to swim a distance. So I definitely could have done better on the swim, but 18 minutes, 28 seconds was a fine time. I was kind of hoping I'd do it in less than 20 minutes because I figured that the times I had been doing on my running and biking, that would get me under that 2.5 hours. So it was great to get the swim done. I felt like I swallowed a lot of water and it was not good water. You're wearing goggles and you can see that it's green. You can kind of see your hands in the water, but it's pretty tough to see very far. And I ended up, like I said, just kind of as I'm breathing heavy while swimming, ended up swallowing a lot of water in the open water swim that caused me to burp a lot during the bike ride. So I got out of the water, transitioned. My transition time was not very good. It was like 5 minutes for me to transition, or 4.5 minutes for me to transition. So, but I knew I was going to be slow on the transition because I wanted to wear compression socks, knee-high compression socks, because that's what I had trained with. And so I brought my socks that are a little bit easier to put on, but I knew drying my legs and getting my feet clean to put my compression socks on was going to take me a little bit longer. Looking overall at the numbers, I wonder what happened. Is it going to show this window again? Okay, it does. UI, that's doing that. All right. So transition time, pretty slow, but there was definitely a lot slower, actually. That's crazy. So anyways, got on the bike, and again, I was not the slowest bike rider, but I was towards the bottom here. On the bike, I did it in 1 hour, 4 minutes, 31 seconds. There was 6 or 7 people behind me here. So 7th from the slowest bike time. Justin, my brother, did about 3 minutes faster on the bike than I did. He ended up passing me on the bike ride, and he really killed it on the bike ride and did well. The second half of the bike ride, I did push myself pretty hard to try to get a good time. The 1 hour, 4 minutes is close to the time I was getting on my training rides. The hills on this course were larger than any of the hills on my training rides. And I also came into it from doing a 20-minute bike ride or a swim, where generally the first thing I do is the bike ride, and I'm not, 20 minutes into working out, or 25 actually at that point with the transition and everything. So bike ride went well, and that's really where a lot of encouraging started happening with the other people. On the way as I'm heading out, they're coming back. I mean, that 11-year-old kid was cheering me. He was like, "Hey, catch the guy in front of you. You got this, man." And everybody was very encouraging on, that both ways. Everybody that was kind of at the back of the pack, kind of, you were watching each other and encouraging each other as well, which was kind of nice. And then we came into the transition for the run. I knew that I was not going to be running very fast at all. Just because I'm 340 pounds, 325 pounds, I guess was my weight at the last weigh-in. But I was almost 6 minutes slower almost 5 minutes slower than the next fastest person on the run. I really, my shoes had been wearing out, and so I knew that I was going to have to contend with that. If I would not have worn my barefoot shoes, if I'd have brought like my old running shoes, I may have been able to go a little bit faster with the run, but I didn't want to, like, when I got doing the 5K, I knew I was going to finish the race at that point. And whether I was last or second to last, it wasn't going to be a big thing. And really, I was not last the whole race up until the, let me see the overall, up until the last 2 minutes. There was one guy behind me. So whoever finished right in front of me, he was between 50 and 54 years old. So, but he did the run, quite a bit faster than me, 8 minutes faster than me or so. And so, but he was very encouraging at the end there. He was kind of right behind me for a long time, pushing, kind of telling me, we were going to get this and we were going to get it done. And I was, it was awesome. So I came in the area that we came into, to finish the race, was like a high school here. I'm going to see, I haven't actually looked at the video here, that I'm about to post. So this is going to be the video. This is one of the bike ride videos coming in from the, what am I doing? Screen broadcast. Here. We'll just take this up to the top. So, like I said, I haven't checked this out, but this is, I think the bike ride coming in. I got to do it on here. Oh, I don't know how loud that is on your end, but those are my kids and my nephews, and there is my big old butt riding by. So that was me on the bicycle there, and then going to what did I do? Going on here. This is the run in. My kids had joined me for the run in, which was really cool. So a couple things that happened on the run in. As I came into the school, a few of my kids ran out to me and kind of ran in with me, which was really nice to have them there running with me. They were very proud of me and very appreciative. The other thing that happened, and I think it was probably right before this video happened, but you can see on the back left, there's a bunch of bikes up there, and I'm running towards the finish line. And as I was running towards the finish line, the guy that had done the triathlon in a wheelchair was going from the finish line to the transition for the bikes. And as he was on the sidewalk, he was just going about his day. And then he saw, like, I saw him notice me running in with my kids, and like, he stopped his wheelchair and he started clapping like loudly, like cheering me on. And it was really cool to have that happen, because he was a guy that at the beginning of the race everybody was cheering for, and so it was neat for him to do that for me. But this is, I don't know how much this is of me coming in, but this is the end of the race. Me just kind of doing my thing. I look like I'm going very slow. This is the fastest I probably went the whole time. There's my daughter Penny. I yeah, so that was fun to finish. Um Overall. It was so yeah, that's my ticket there. That was what I finished. It was a great experience. Everybody, like I said, was super supportive. And I would encourage anybody to try to do it. I mean, um the divisions here, I'm going to try to sort this by divisions just to see. But I mean, there's people from all ages doing it. I couldn't believe that there was people in the 70 up male. There was two people 70 up male. There was over 10 people from 65 to 69. From 60 to 64, just as many people on the men's side. So it was really cool seeing a lot of people doing it. On the women's side, I know that there was one female 70 up. There was 3 female between 65 and 69. There was one female from 60 to 64. So it was just cool. I mean, just the and overall, I'm happy to have it done. You know, a lot of people asking, are you going to do another one? I'm not going to sign up for another one soon. I would do a large biking event because I know I can handle biking and I can do it better. But the running, just the whole time I was running, I was worried about blisters on my feet. I could feel some kind of, I could feel my feet heating up in spots that I thought were going to blister. And they did give me some discomfort after the race. The jarring on my knees and things like that. I really did a lot more walking on the 5K than running, or the running I did was probably very similar to the running that you just saw in that video there. So it's not something that, when I was talking to somebody, because my friend has been bugging me about doing, a half marathon with him because he's gotten into running a lot more and he's doing, very well with that. And talking to him, I don't see myself doing a running event until I'm under 250 pounds at least. I just don't need to hurt myself. I can do a bike. I can bike for very long distance. I've done a 15-mile bike ride many times now, more times than I thought that I would ever do a 15-mile bike ride in a month. I've done in the past month, and I could do longer ones if I wanted. And that's where I would work out if I was going to worry about the working out. The other part of it too is that it took a lot of mental, and it took a lot of focus, figuring out what I was going to do, the equipment to use, the best strategies to use to get ready, and then the time it takes to train to do it. I'm going to try to find ways to be active and do things, but take that much time away is good. Anthony's saying, glad you did not get blisters. Yeah, I am too. I mean, really the whole run, it was like the bottom of my feet, like the what is that? The front. I can't think of the term off the top of my head, but the front of my front bottom of my feet. I felt like we're gonna blister if I tried to run much harder, and then I didn't really have much knee pain, but I know that if I would have pushed and kind of made myself, I would have had maybe more knee pain, and it wouldn't have been worth it. I guess that's the other, I have a lot of other things going on. And so the time it took to train for this was a lot. And then while doing it, if I would have injured myself and not been able to work this week, that would have been really bad for me because I got a lot going on. In fact, I'm going to stream today. Carrie says I was pretty stoked he could still walk the next day. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my recovery was not bad at all. I've been highly relying on my belief that a plant-based diet causes a faster recovery time. That's what everybody who's in this field is saying, that a plant-based, especially for endurance type activities like a triathlon, running, biking, swimming events like this, not like, it might be good for recovering from big bodybuilding sessions too, but that this type of eating is conducive to quicker recovery times. And I would say that throughout the whole training process, without anything really to compare it to other than past kind of experiences with working out and things like that, my recovery has been amazing every time. I mean, I went out, I did a 35-mile bike ride 2 weeks into this and had no problems doing stuff the next day. This week, since this time a week ago, I have done 3. So I did 2 workouts where I rode for 15 miles. I guess one of them I did a 15-mile bike ride. I did a 5K walk. The other I did a 15-mile bike ride. I did a 2-mile walk. And then the triathlon, I did the swim, the 15-mile bike ride, the 5K, all within the last 7 days. And I can tell my muscles are stronger in my legs. I can tell that it's not sore though. It's like, they're like swollen is what they feel like. They don't feel pain. I don't feel like I'm in pain. I definitely relaxed after the run. I didn't do much on Saturday after the run. I kind of laid in bed and just kind of, I drink, this, tart cherry juice. I don't know if it's the exact type of cherry that they talked about, but in one of the books, I think it was probably Sick to Fit, I think was the name of the book. He was talking about the tart cherries, or maybe it was, anyways, I bet it was Dr. Greger's book. I would think that they just talk about that they found that people that eat the type of cherries that they talk about are Montmorency tart cherry juice, that people that drink that after long workouts find that it helps lower inflammation. It's a replacement for using ibuprofen, essentially. And I drank a lot of cherry juice over the last 6 weeks. That was, if I did a workout, at least in the last 3 or 4 weeks of this, I was drinking cherry juice after the workout or the day after. Anthony's saying, glad you can ride your bike. Yeah, the bike riding, the first couple times you have to get used to sitting on the saddle, and but after you get used to that, it gets a lot easier. And it's so much less impact on your knees. I mean, it's just a much better workout for somebody who's larger, but at the same time, if I was any larger than I am now, the bike wouldn't hold me, like that's the kind of what sucks about it, is that, you have to have equipment that can handle you. And so I'm happy that my bike held up and did great. So that was my Saturday. Like I said, I was going to end up talking a lot about the sprint triathlon here. Relieved it's done. Happy to do it. At the end of it all, I wished I could have run harder, because then crossing the finish line, I would have maybe felt more like I put it all out there. Like the the walking or whatever, like I could only go so fast. And I mean, my heart rate was up the whole time. I didn't even go over that on my phone. I should have, but I was keeping my heart rate up pretty high during the run, trying to, kind of do as much kind of like that running you saw in the video as I could, but I ended up doing a lot of walking. And just knowing that if I was 100 pounds lighter or 120 pounds lighter, that I could be doing, I could be pushing myself harder, but because of my size and, not wanting to do something stupid and injure myself, it didn't necessarily, push me. I mean, cause the 2 hours, 21 minutes, full cardio, it was good. If I did a try again, I might try to do like the next step up, the Olympic distance. Again, I wouldn't consider doing it until I was a much better weight, but that might be, just because like I look at the times that the top guys got on this try, and they were at like an hour and 4 or just over an hour was the fastest time. That if I were to do an event that's twice the distance and I was able to improve my time by a third even, then that would be like a 3 hour long event, or 3 to 3.5 hour long event. Probably, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to do the math quick in my head and I'm screwing it up. But anyways, but it would be a longer distance, a little bit longer workout. I'd be able to do it faster. And I would definitely practice swim more. I did well with the swim for not having the training that I probably needed to have. If I was able to just keep a consistent pace swimming and get my breathing on a consistent rhythm, it would have been much faster. But the way I did it, it was, I got through it fine. But yeah, that is my Saturday. Sunday, I cut grass all day. That's what you do when you spend all your time trying to work out to get ready for something and you let your yard go a little bit, is once it's over, you got to take care of the stuff you've been letting go. So spent all day Sunday cutting grass, recovering great. Diet has been no problem so far. I don't know if I've said it yet. I've thought about it, but I'm going to be streaming today. I will not be streaming tomorrow. But I will stream on Wednesday. That'll be weigh-in Wednesday is when I'll be back. And then I'm going to be gone. There's a slight chance I go on Thursday, but I don't think I'm going to go on Thursday. Carrie says the pool is blue again. And I'm going to tell you what I told you this morning. The pool is blue. But do not swim in that pool because your hair will fall out with as much chemicals I put in it to make it blue. So you didn't want to swim in it when it was green. Your hair wasn't going to fall out. You swim in it now, your hair is going to turn a different shade and your skin's going to burn off. So don't swim in the pool yet, but soon. Anyways, so yeah, I might get on Thursday, but it's going to be Wednesday for weigh-in Wednesday. And then I am gone until August 1. And that'll be my 9-month update. If you want to get updates from me, make sure that you get on to the Instagram and follow me there. I'll probably share some photos on that. Also, get on the Discord. The Discord is in the description below. We have a link that should be active for 1 week from the time this video plays. Check out, see if I put any updates on there. Make sure that you are sharing this video or clicking or interacting with it. I want to get my viewers and subscribers up. I got them up a little bit this weekend. I had posted the photo that's down in the corner and my ticket on Reddit, and a few people followed me from that. So that was great. So if you're a new follower, I appreciate you following and checking out my my streams. But that's going to be it for me today. I am going to head home and have a busy day busy 2 days until I see you again on Wednesday. If you guys have not started a diet yet, get started now. There's no reason to wait. Get started now. Whatever you're waiting for is always going to be in front of you. There's always going to be some hurdle. And then if that event keeps you from doing it this year, does that mean a year from now you're going to go off your diet so that you can, celebrate that birthday again? I mean, you have to take control of your diet, and you have to start now. And if you're on a diet, stick to it. I mean, I know it can be tough, and it can get boring, and it can get monotonous, and it can get difficult, but you got to get to that goal. You got to see it all the way to the end, and keep up the dedication to getting it done. So again, I want to thank you guys for checking out my broadcast, and we will see you Wednesday.